So this is a TiE Bangalore ISA initiative. And of course, the big thing that TiE does, I think in the morning Ravi covered some details, but the big thing is you might have heard about the WhatsApp moment of finance, which is Nanda Nilankani talking about things. We didn't know that demonetization and digital India will happen very fast, but it's happened. We also do Antah-Prerna, which is a very nice event, which is about internal drive to be entrepreneur, to solve problems. It's not so much about funding and VC, but it's very popular. And you have heard, Elevate is a fantastic program the government of Karnataka does, which is giving money to some of the best startups, 100 in 2017 and about 70 in 2018. It's not a loan. It's not even equity, it's a pure grant. That's the best way you can innovate startups which want to do various things. So this is a very good program, and TiE has been involved with this. This is the IoT forum. I ended up starting it in 2014 because Cisco reached out to us to get this started. This has proven to be a very challenging thing. There's a lot of things in IoT, multidisciplinary, and now with blockchain, AI, a lot of things are happening, but we have done well. We have done about, this is a slightly outdated, we have done about 42 events, 4,000 plus participants, about 500 startups are engaged, and we have a lot of events. So we have detailed thing, we have a partnership with the CISO platform on security. We do a lot of work with IEEE, the IoT COE, data science COE, NASSCOM government, NABARD. ISA is of course a very strong part of the system. We have a directory, WWIoT for India. I would request you to go there. And I will be talking about the IoT directory. Some of you guys want to go to that website, look for blogs, 2018 directory is up there. So you can see we have this directory up there, and we have a Telegram channel which is very active. You can subscribe to it from there, and you can register for our website to get more things. So I would encourage anyone much serious, and you have seen some of the quality and content we have on blockchain or security, etc. Please go there. Now, this is an interesting thing that is important. Many of you are brainwashed into thinking that the standards from the US are good for India. It is absolute rubbish, and this is something which you must understand when you are doing IoT. Wi-Fi is the most absolutely useless spectral efficiency platform for IoT. Bluetooth mesh is far better. And this is an example at the Telecom Standards Development Society of India, where for 5G, we are going at a new standard because the spectral efficiency you need has to be orders of, at a cost of $87. We cannot have the spectral efficiency that 5G promises. We need 10 times more efficient, and you can do it because the bandwidth has to be used for rural, low usage densities. And there are proposals, IIT Madras has worked, they are doing. The entire set of spectrums on connectivity, compute need to be redone from frugal India. Just like China has taken over the ITU, and 700 megahertz came from China, not from US, India has to do something similar, and frugal engineering, low power, high spectral density, low cost IoT standards is necessary. And this includes security. These are the things we have done. I think Cardiac Design was one of the first companies we did, which won the which was the Google Launchpad Prime Minister's Startup Award. And Loginext has gone abroad. They do supply chain. TiE is very much here. We also persuaded DOT TRI to ask for more spectrum because we are a call drop nation. If you put IoT on the same spectrum, not much going to happen. So we have got this. And LP1, LoRa, is now used by 6 smart cities. So that's been a lot of work. IoT security, we have something called fresh thinking, which I will not cover now, I am covering later. The goal of IoT for India is raising the IoT quotient of India. And I'll give you 2 examples to explain that. 80% of the events on IoT are exceptionally basic. They are the parking lounge of a car. They don't even come to the first floor. Very, very basics and Arduino, etc. That's not a place where we are going to be a world-class company. We need to start at the 3rd floor. You should know a lot about MCUs, controllers, etc. You should be thinking very hard about the bill of materials for an exceptionally targeted, low cost, very high tight fit to the mass market, or a very high quality, very secure for industrial or defense applications. So they are very different use cases. Most people end up selecting wrong MCU, wrong thing. They spend 2 years, they figure out their antenna doesn't work, the packaging doesn't work, power doesn't work, and we don't have the money to last after 2 years. So most of them are close to extinguishing. So we want to change that by enabling people to know much better what to do correct. And that includes knowing that blockchain version 1 doesn't work for IoT. You should look for version 2, distributed lighting. We have discussions on agri-tech, general, IoT stack, IoT security, and we are also doing, and you should find some of these discussions. This is the thing we are doing on security. This is an announcement, first public announcement we are doing. For the last 18 months, we have been working on IoT security, and we have been in discussion with various people. We have published this with the IET, Institution of Engineering Technology, and we say 3 things. All the existing standards of security from NIST, Federal Trade Commission, etc. are junk. They don't work, and the proof is that not a single large vendor has been immune. Even Google has got hacked, Apple has lost something, PayPal, Equifax still survives, having been utterly demolished. And the reason they didn't work is the entire approach is wrong. You cannot always ask for more money to be spent by the victim. The criminals have to be taken to task unless you change the symmetry. It's not a liability regime of the manufacturer. If you built a house and 100 people barge into your house, is it your job to protect your house? Is it your job to sue the architect not to make an upgradable house to be upgraded against denial of service attack? No. Fundamentally, high seas, piracy at high seas, if the nation states don't stop it, individuals are entitled under international maritime law. The US Constitution recognizes it, UN Convention recognizes it. You have right to self-defense. The Indian Information Technology Act removes the security. We are asking it to be removed. It's fundamentally a legal problem where criminals are protected and safe people are not. If you change that, 90% of the problems will go away. There are rights. There is something called ante-pillar order, which allows a civilian to enter someone else's premises if you have intellectual property theft. I have used this. I got permission from the Singapore Supreme Court. We went into an employee and we found a device and we collected $600,000 from his employer. So this allows you to find forensic evidence in a botnet. You can and should be allowed to enter a botnet, take the forensic device. You can and should be allowed to completely firewall all the ISPs on botnets and take them down. These legal rights exist in physical property. If you have a thief running away from you, you can enter the place he has hidden. If you have a car rushing at you, you are entitled to shoot the tires. So those are the part of the things in fresh thinking that we have asked. We are laying out a plan. This is a 3-year project. We are asking for space to be given by the government to do a regulatory sandbox experiment. Details are there in the document. You will find it on our website soon. And we do this. Similar problem is on pollution. And you have heard it in smart cities, etc. Now, many people do not realize that PMI varies by 100% a day. Yes, you can go from 50 to 150 on the same day. This is worse than the stock market. Stock market does 50-60% once in a decade. And it goes by 600% across seasons. Between summer, monsoon, winter, PMI varies that much. So it's a highly volatile measurement. So when you are talking about improving PMI, all the current models, and Manindra Agarwal, who's the dean at IIT Kanpur, has published this report, which is used in the Supreme Court. I did metrology there, so I got only 5 out of 100. I got 70 on relativistic quantum, so I was much better at quantum mechanics. It is nonsense. You cannot do these experiments with just 4 measurements of 24-hour averages for a city of 6,000 square kilometers. It is atrocious that engineers are putting their name behind experimental calculations which an Excel sheet anybody can do. It is not worth the paper. This apportionment of pollution, etc., that the pollution guys measure is worse than World War I statistics. Very few data, lot of assumptions, all sorts of statements. So we are saying forget all that. For every square kilometer of Bangalore, we want 4 PMI measurements, and we want every hour. We want 25 weather stations. We want 300 bus interchanges to be photographed. We want 700 vibration sensors on diesel engines. We want a lot of things which is called big data. And that will allow us to do correlation and, more important, experiments at Hoodie Circle or at a police station or at Majestic. You do experiments, and they're experiments. You can put an urban forest, you can do clean thing, you can stop diesel, and find out what works. So we call it rich data, smarter policy. We want to provide hour by hour 300 square feet areas PMI so that you can do this improvement. It's a blockchain based thing. So IoT Next you have already heard, and I hope you had a good time. This is the directory which Ravi talked about, 1270, and there is a lot more we do about the directory than this. This is one set of numbers. We can give you much better information. And to get this, you have to come on our Telegram channel or join as a TiE member, as an IoT Forum membership, which we have discussed. So we can tell you that 51 companies are doing water, 100 companies are doing safety and surveillance, and AdTech, which is NFC, Bluetooth beacon, and advertising technology, motion sensor, etc., 121. There are 217 companies doing analytics. These can be very interesting. We have much more information. We can do a huge amount of deep dive as needed. And this is the way a mature system can improve. So we would request you to start thinking in terms of data about our startup system. We have an active Telegram group. We have an IoT for India channel. Every day on your phone, you will get 5 highly qualified news in the morning, in the evening. We want IoT community to celebrate. It's hard being a startup. It's very harder to be an IoT startup. So if you have won an award, pitch, celebrate. When you start a new company, mention it to the community. When you have a new product, mention it to the thing. When you have a new skill, mention it here so that people can do. We put up an invitation. We put up a challenge. In Sweden, there was an IoT pitch session. Startups can't travel to Sweden, but there was also a Government of India scheme which was paying for people to travel to seminar. 2 guys went and one won the award. So these are the type of things we would like to do there. We also have a WhatsApp group, which is IoT for India group. We will also be doing for IoT Forum members open labs where you can prototype from idea to these things. We will discuss that later. This is an example of how you can exploit our directory. And this is available on Telegram. It's a bot. You ask the bot, it will say, okay, right now, in the older days, it was 40 cities. Now there are 52 cities. So you want to know which city, what verticals. Verticals are like smart city, etc. What horizontals, FPG, etc. What services, training, etc. And so in this case, we are finding who in Hyderabad is doing consumer, does say iBot. You can also say who is doing 4-wheeler EV charging. Or all this. So you can do a lot of analytics from our system, and it's all available online. And I would encourage you to start using this. So the basic idea is raising the IoT quotient of India is a two-way exercise. You have to make it happen by joining us, and these are the methods by which you can join. We have a website, we have an active Twitter account, we have a very active Telegram account, and there is a mail at which you can mail us to get some more information. Thank you.